Hello, my name is Virtual Salt, and welcome back to Coden. Wait, no, hold on. My name is Coden, and welcome back to Virtual Salt. I'm pumped to be back, and I hope you're pumped to be back watching. We're going to jump straight into it this week with this week's drawings. So last week, we looked at how Jesus called Peter to be one of his disciples, and we learned a little bit about Peter. Now, we have a couple of drawings of Jesus calling Peter. So first up, we have Grace. As we can see, this is Jesus calling Peter and his brother Andrew. Well done, Grace. You did a really good job. Then next, we have Peter and his disciples. We have Jesus and his disciples again. Well done, Elise. All right, so that's our drawings for this week. Well done, girls. You did a really good job. If you didn't get a chance to send in your drawing this week, that's okay. Send in your drawing to this email. It'll pop up on your screen. And pick a part of your favorite bit from the story this week. We'll go through that soon. Draw it down, take a picture of it, and then send it through to that email. And then next week, we're going to look at it on Virtual Salt. All right, so now I'm going to hand it off to our weatherman. Take it away, Liam.
Hey Salt, it's Liam, the new weather reporter, and I will be talking to you about the weather. Did you know when the sun comes up, it's daytime, and when the sun goes down and the moon comes up, it's nighttime? And that's a good reminder to show that you need to be in bed by 3 p.m. in the afternoon to get a good night's rest. Over to you, Tamika.
Hey guys, welcome back to Storytime. Today our story is called God's Wonderful Surprise. The resurrection from Matthew 28, Mark 16, Luke 24 and John 20. And our story today begins just after Jesus had died and been buried in the tomb. Jesus' friends were sad. They would never see their best friend again. How could this happen? Wasn't Jesus the rescuer, the king that God had promised? It wasn't supposed to end like this. Yes, but whoever said anything about the end? Just before sunrise on the third day, God sent an earthquake and an angel from heaven. When the guards saw the angel, they fell down with fright. The angel rolled the huge stone away, sat on top of it, and waited. At the first glimmer of dawn, Mary Magdelene and the other women headed to the tomb to wash Jesus' body. When they arrived at the tomb, they immediately noticed something odd. It was wide open. They peered through the opening into the dark tomb, but wait, Jesus' body was gone. And here's a picture of Mary and the other women walking to the tomb. And something else. A shining man was there with clothes made from lightning. "Don't be scared," the angel said. But they couldn't help it. They screamed anyway. The angel asked them, "What are you doing here? This is a tomb, and tombs are for dead people." The women couldn't speak. Jesus isn't dead anymore. He's alive again. And their hearts leapt. And then the angel laughed with such gladness that they thought for a moment as if they had woken from a nightmare. There's a picture of the angel dressed in lightning. And down there is the women who are clearly very scared, even though the angel had told them not to be. The other women rushed home, but Mary stayed behind. How could it be true? Jesus was definitely dead. How could he be alive? Just then, Mary heard something else in the garden. Perhaps it's the gardener, she thought. He'll know where Jesus' body is. "I don't know where Jesus is," Mary said urgently. "I can't find him." But it was all right. Jesus knew where she was, and he had found her. Mary. Only one person said her name like that. She could hear her heart thumping. She turned around. She could just make out a figure. She shaded her eyes to see, and she thought she was dreaming. But she wasn't dreaming. She was seeing Jesus. Mary fell to the ground. Sudden tears filled her eyes, and great sobs shook her whole body. And all she wanted in that moment was to cling to Jesus and to never let him go. "You'll be able to hold me later, Mary," Jesus said gently, "and always be close to me. But now go and tell the others that I'm alive." And here's Jesus and Mary. Mary ran and ran all the way to the city. She had never run so fast or so far in all her life. She felt that she could have run forever. She didn't even feel like her feet were touching the ground. The sun seemed to be dancing and gleaming and bouncing across the sky, racing with her and shining brighter than she could ever remember. And the clean, fresh air was all around her. And it seemed to her that morning as she ran almost as if the whole world had been made anew. Almost as if the whole world was singing for joy. The trees, tiny sounds in the grass, the birds, her heart. Was God really making everything sad come untrue? Was he making even death come untrue? She couldn't wait to tell Jesus' friends. "They won't believe it," she laughed. She was right, of course. And there's Mary running to tell all Jesus' friends that he's alive. And now it's time for some salty news.
Hello, Salty viewers, and welcome back to Salty News. As you know, I'm your host, Juliet, and this week I'm back to interview a woman with a very heart-wrenching and tragic tale, filled with sorrow and despair. Viewers are advised to have a box of tissues nearby, as we are about to interview Mary Magdelene.
Thanks, Juliet. Although I promise this is a happy story and I can't wait to share it with you.
A happy story? Wow, that is amazing of you to try to find something positive through this tragedy. I'm sure you're still grieving and it's all quite confusing. I understand completely if you need to take a moment to gather yourself, Mary. Let me know. I'm sure our viewers won't mind.
Honestly, I'm fantastic. As sad as it was at the time, it really is the best thing that could have ever happened to me. You, or the entire world, as a matter of fact. I can't wait to share it with you and your viewers.
Are you sure you're okay? I mean, your friend Jesus died a horrific death. Why would you want to share that? You've been through a lot, Mary.
You're completely right, Juliet. However, you may remember from your interview last week that Jesus didn't stay dead. He came back to life after 3 days. That's what we just celebrated this Easter weekend. Jesus beat death, and he's beaten it for all of us. He has given us hope that because of him, we can have eternal life too.
Yes, definitely starting to put it together now. But what was your initial response when you saw that the tomb was empty? Weren't you concerned? Where was your friend? You didn't know he was alive yet.
I was shocked. I mean, I was prepared to see my friend's lifeless body, and instead I saw an empty tomb. I was there when they carried his body into that tomb. I watched them close the tomb with a stone. I couldn't believe my eyes, but the evidence was right there in front of me. His body was gone. This was devastating, but the pain and confusion didn't last long. Jesus appeared to me and I touched him. He is alive. And so I went to tell everyone that miraculous news.
Of course. I can only imagine something of that magnitude being cause for celebration. Certainly, if this is indeed news that affects everyone, I hope they all can hear it. But how, Mary? How to get this out there to our friends and the greater community?
Now you're getting to the good questions. You can do what I did. Simply tell the good news. Jesus was resurrected. He is alive, and that is a historical fact. The tomb is empty, and because of this, we can have eternal life with Jesus. There is no greater message to share.
Indeed. Let's get out there and share this awesome news about Jesus with the people in our lives. Thank you, Mary, for being on our broadcast. You have been exceptional.
Thanks for having me, Juliet. And thanks for helping me share this awesome news.
Thank you as well, Salty viewers. Remember to wash your hands, eat your vegetables, and send in your artwork for our judging panel. We'll catch you next week with some more salty news.
Well, that's all we have for this week. Remember to send in your drawings, and we will see you next week.